Scorpio. Perfektenschlag. The Schrutes have a word for when everything is coming together perfectly. And that is Perfektenschlag. And that is what this card is all about. It comes out whenever everything is coming together perfectly. Even if you don't see it yet, everything is coming together perfectly. So don't confuse it with the other definition of Perfektenschlag, which is perfect pork anus. So even if you don't think things are coming together perfectly, they are. You just gotta attempt to see it. You just gotta enjoy it and experience it. Do not confuse it with perfect pork anus. With something that's not coming together perfectly. Perfektenschlag, Scorpio. It is what we want to see. Right? Oh, okay. So these cards together tells me that a heartbreak has happened. But it was a lesson. A mistake happened. You made a mistake, Scorpio. Because for some reason, when I looked at this, I was imagining the Hierophant, number 5, which is to me like a teacher. Which is why I thought this heartbreak was a lesson. So I messed up. I made a mistake, confusing this card with another. But as you can see at the end, everything kind of came together perfectly. I saw things for what they were. So you have made a mistake. This isn't a heartbreak. Sounds like you made a mistake. So correct this mistake. And this mistake isn't to punish yourself or anything like that. This mistake was meant to happen, so to take you to your throne, to where you need to be. And that is why everything is coming together perfectly. Right? Say, this is my soulmate. But I'm over here thinking this is my soulmate. Well, life isn't just going to let me believe it and let it happen. Life is going to cause a mistake. It is going to cause a heartbreak so that I leave this so-called soulmate. And then I can open my eyes and say, oh, my soulmate was actually over here. Hi, Luna. Welcome in your new soulmate. Luna is my soulmate, and she was at the door. And she came on in all happy. And I feel like I'm right where I belong with my dog Luna. Hi, Luna. Yeah. I love you too. Cool. So don't beat yourself up about your mistake. And welcome in this new emperor. Welcome in this new soulmate. Welcome in what is for you. Say goodbye to what is not for you. Everything coming together perfectly. See, my dog walking through the door is perfect. The Emperor. Yeah, be in charge of yourself. Don't be afraid to say, yeah, I made a mistake. But it led me to doing things right. Oh, baby. Yeah, I feel. See how much my vibe changed when my dog walked in. That's what we want. That is things coming together perfectly. And that's one thing that honestly annoys me about some people. The thing I most despise about people is when, like, if they do make a mistake, and they can't own up to it. They can't just say, yeah, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. You know? I hate people when they make a mistake and they say, oh, nope, I didn't do anything bad. Oh, that wasn't me. Nope. It wasn't my fault. It was their fault, you know. Own up to your mistakes. Mistakes are just signs that point you to the right direction. Right? You're going this way, and then a sign goes, trail is this way, bro. And you can say, oh, okay. Right? Was it bad that you were going this way first? No. If you weren't going this way, you wouldn't have seen the sign that tells you to go this way next. The Emperor is all about following rules, right? Following guidelines. So this mistake was just a guideline to direct you to the perfect moment. We can't know love if we don't also know hate. We can't know pleasure, right, if we also don't know what pain is. Right? Take Adam and Eve, for example, right? The Adam didn't know what he had. Right? They were in this perfect place, you know, with his partner, and then one of them made a mistake. Right? But they didn't know what they had before until the mistake was made. Right? So to me, that's like the answer of why does God allow pain? Why does God allow hate? Well, you wouldn't know what the other side of the coin is if you didn't know pain and hate. You wouldn't be able to differentiate, right? I know this is red because I can compare it to what's around it, to white or silver, you know. If this was all white, right? Imagine this was different colors here, but I wouldn't know because they all look the same to me. But now that I have something to, you know, to distinguish it from, to differentiate it from, now I know that this is white and this is not white. And that's the coming together. Interesting. If you only knew love, things wouldn't be able to come together. You would only know one side of the coin. So you leave that to know the other side. And then when you know it, it doesn't mean you have to stick with it. It doesn't mean it was a mistake. It means you can go back around. Alright, I was kind of seeing like the Earth is a circle, right? A globe. Imagine starting here and then going around and then going back, right? Imagine this is your favorite place. You go somewhere else and you're just like, whoa, I don't like this place as much as my home. So you go back around to your home and then you chill at your home because that's, you know, that's what you love. Not exactly like that, but I hope that paints the picture enough. Going with the flow. Okay, so this kind of reminds me of how I was saying that mistakes are just pointers to the right direction. Going with the flow. Water doesn't get mad if it goes downhill. Water doesn't go mad if it goes uphill. Can water go uphill? Water goes with the flow. This is the Ace of Cups. So this is the potential of your emotions, all of your emotions. Not just the good ones, not just the bad ones, but this is the potential of having all of them. I mean, if you only had good emotions, if there was a fire there and I touched it and I liked touching it, but fire secretly destroys me, you know, burns me, and I won't be able to, you know, have a good body if I just keep touching this fire. Right? So it's a good thing that I feel pain whenever I touch fire, because if I envelop myself in fire, well, I'm going to be burned. I'm going to just die. So pain is good. Pain helps you survive. Go with the flow. Go flow with these emotions. See what it wants to tell you and then flow on to the next one. Emperor feels like it forces the rules, right? Don't force emotions. Let them come to you. So you don't have to be in a happy state. You don't have to be in a angry state. Be in the state of this guy. And then when happiness comes, enjoy it. When, you know, anger comes, enjoy it as well. Because it's telling you something. They both are. Perfektenschlag. Everything is coming together perfectly. Everything. Not just the good things, not just the bad things. Fighting, and it's pointing to this going with the flow. Fighting reminds me of that Three of Swords as well, the heartbreak, the mistake. You're beating yourself up for making a mistake, or maybe you want to beat someone else up for making a mistake. This deals with the mind now. Interesting. So saying things is good and bad, right? That's the mind's doing, not the emotions. The mind is the one that wants to get back at someone, right? Wants that revenge. It says, how dare you? But when you do think this way, your emotions also get attacked. Your emotions follow. They go with the flow. So if your mind is fighting itself, because the mind doesn't fight anyone else, the mind is our own, the emotions go with the flow, and then you're going to feel those same emotions. But now you're creating them, not someone else. So there's a lot of fighting in your mind about what's going on, instead of seeing things as coming together perfectly. As I'm glad I got cheated on. That way I know that that's not the person for me, and now I can go find my actual right person, right? So instead of fighting the one that cheated on you, how about we just let go and go on to the next one? Go with the flow. If you're being treated the way you don't want to be treated, say something. And if they still don't want to treat you the way you feel like you should be treated, then move on to the next. Instead of fighting in your mind, because then your own emotions are following, and now you're the one creating this fighting. Right? That's what, didn't Jesus say, turn the cheek? Because people who want to fight, they will fight. When you fight with them, you're not going to win, because they don't care about how you think or feel. They only care about fighting. They only care about putting swords in hearts. So we go with the flow. We follow the emotions that we deserve. We follow with the thoughts that we deserve. Interesting. interesting. They both have their fists up. But they both have their fists up for different reasons. This guy wants to fight. This guy is celebrating that everything is going perfectly. Cheerful. Which flow do you want to go with? Art. Yeah, you create it. Interesting. Yeah, you're creating these thoughts now. You are creating these emotions now that are following your thoughts. So now it has nothing to do with other people. It only has to do with yourself. That's why you are able to turn the cheek, because you want to create yourself however you want to create. I want to create love within myself. So I'm not going to be around people that that bring out hatred, that bring out anger. I'm going to surround myself with people that bring out that love within myself. Now imagine what you can create when your mind and your emotions are creating together. They're all looking inside this cauldron. Everything is coming together perfectly in this cauldron. Interesting, so say you're putting, coal, right? And then you put in pressure and you bring in fire, right? Some of those things don't sound very nice, but all of them together create something perfect, like a diamond. Prince of Swords. Okay. I wonder if that's the same one as this fighting card. Let me see what this fighting card is. Because they're both court cards of the swords of the mind. And this is the Knight of Clouds, which is the Prince of Swords. Nice. These are the same. So create the mind. Don't let these heartbreak affect your mind. You create your mind. Your mind is your own creation. So if you keep surrounding yourself with heartbreak, it's your own creation as well, because you want to feel this way. Not everyone wants to feel this way, obviously, but when we are stuck in it, in that fighting mode. Alright, now I'm going to read both of these so you can see the difference, because they are the same card. These are the same cards, so I want you to see that they're talking about the same thing, right? But they're both going to be talking from a different perspective, but they're still talking about the same thing. Alright, so the figure in this card is completely covered in armor. Only his glare of rage is visible, and the whites of the knuckles on his clenched fists. If you look closely at the armor, you can see it's covered with buttons, ready to detonate if anybody so much as brushes up against them. In the background, we see the shadowy movie that plays in this man's mind. Two figures fighting for a castle. An explosive temper or a smoldering rage often masks a deep feeling of pain. We think that if we frighten people away, we can avoid being hurt even more. In fact, just the opposite is the case. By covering our wounds with armor, we are preventing them from being healed. That's insane right there. That's huge. Those are insane words. Okay, listen again. By covering our wounds with armor, we are preventing them from being healed. By lashing out at others, we keep ourselves from getting the love and nourishment we need. If this description seems to fit you, it's time to stop fighting. There is so much love available to you if you just let it in. Start by forgiving yourself. You're worth it. We said that earlier, right? Even if it's you who made the mistake, forgive yourself. You are worth it. Move on to some love. You're a love-making machine. The Prince of Swords, the heir of air. It is easy, now we're on this one, okay? It is easy to be deceived by such people, for the manifestation itself has enormous potency. It is as if an imbecile offered one the dialogues of Plato. They may in this way acquire a great reputation both for depth and breadth of mind. An earlier version of this card paints a kinder, gentler picture of the Prince of Swords and the arc fairies who draw his chariot. The final version is full of mad, seemingly futile movement. The geometrical wings of the prince and the children are enclosed in bright yellow bubbles, air of air. The children pull the chariot irresponsibly in any direction that takes their fancy. They are not reined, but perfectly capricious. I don't know a lot of these words. The chariot, consequently, is enough to move, but quite unable to progress in any definite direction except by accident. It is the perfect picture of the mind. Like a madman whose brain creates only to destroy, we see the prince with the sword in his right hand, with which he creates ideas and images, and the sickle in his left hand, which he immediately cuts them down. This sounds like madness, but we are doing the same thing every moment of our waking lives. When the mind is given a creative outlet for this process, When the mind is given a creative outlet for this process, such as music, literature, or film making, we discover great genius. Mozart and Mendelssohn were Prince of Swords, as were the great film directors D.W. Griffith and Federico Fellini. Crowley heaps great praise upon the pure intelligence of the Prince of Swords, but he cannot avoid discussing the futility of thinking about thinking. He is full of ideas and designs which tumble over each other, he points out. He is a mass of fine ideal unrelated to practical effort. Edgar Allan Poe was also a Prince of Swords. So your mind is dope. It creates. So what do you want to create? You want to create this guy and his fighting? Or do you want to create Dwight celebrating perfectness like that? Everything is coming together perfectly. Nice. I think me and the cards were talking about the same thing, how we were on the same page. Isn't that cool? What cool creative art that is created like this reading when both are on the same page. Nice. Yep. The heartbreak, right? This is my goodbyes stink card. We're definitely saying goodbye to something, and it's breaking our heart. But, goodbyes are very necessary. Some things have to end for new things to begin, right? If your soulmate was right there, but you're over here stuck with this person, well, the soulmate can never enter your life because you're with this person. So how cool is it that life makes it so that this ends, so that this new actual love can begin? And it's great. It's weird too how I keep saying soulmate. I usually never do like love readings and stuff, but I mean, it keeps popping up, and then this card popped up. And I wrote what I wrote about this card as well, right? Here, I'll just read you what I wrote. It says, goodbye stink. They can be very hard, but are also very necessary. Some things have got to end for new things to begin. Life would be very boring if you did the same thing over and over again for all of eternity. So change brings about new growth. This is why change is good, especially if Holly is waiting for you in Colorado, like she was waiting for Michael, right? So in this scene, Michael is saying goodbye to Jim because he's leaving to Colorado with Holly. So, I mean, if Holly is waiting for you in Colorado, where your future children will also eventually be, of course he feels sad about leaving Dunder Mifflin and his Dunder Mifflin family, but, I mean, there's love waiting for him on the other side. So after you feel sad, it's because it's okay to feel sad about endings. start getting excited for what to come, because this soulmate is to come. Things are coming together perfectly. You can fight life that this ending is here, but how about we get excited now for this new soulmate to arrive? Nice. And be yourself. Just be yourself. That's all that matters. Identity theft is not a joke. Right? Be yourself. If we all really wanted to be the same, then we would all still be up in heaven, right? Where we are one. But we want to explore something different. We want to know who we are. So we are here in this earth where everything is same, but different. Now, you find yourself with this odd, weird, singular human, right? Why don't we see what it can do? Why don't we get excited for what's to come and what we can do? Wow, this was a longer reading, but very, very cool reading, Scorpio. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope something here helped. If it did, please help me with a like, a comment, subscribe to keep hanging out with me. I'm a pretty cool guy. And I just want to have fun and help as much as I can. So thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one.